Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jefford, network engineer at LINX, and today I'll be giving the technology update for LINX Manchester. This is my first LINX member presentation, so go easy on me. Areas I'll cover, I thought it'd be good to give a brief history of the LAN first to show how far we've come and the improvements we've made to the network over the years. Mainly though, I'll be looking at the recent upgrades, bringing LINX Manchester in line with the LAN 2 network, the migration process we followed to achieve this, and some of the benefits of the new network. So history of the Manchester LAN. Traffic first passed on the network in 2012, with the LAN split across 3 sites. These were Equinix Williams House, Equinix Dual House, and M247. At the time, we were running the network on Extreme 670 switches and 460, and only offering member ports at 1 and 10 gig. Then at this time, due to 100 gig demand in Dual House, we installed a Juniper MX240, which basically acted as a very large media converter to allow us to provide that 100 gig port. Then after the LAN 2 upgrades from Extreme in 2018 in London, we freed up a number of Extreme BDX8 switches, which we installed as a new core, allowing us to provide 100 gig ports in all 3 sites. This was a reasonably large upgrade to Manchester at the time, with 100 gig and some 10 gig members moved to be directly connected to the cores. At this point, we also upgraded the ISL capacity. Then a year later in 2019, we brought a 4th site, Teledata, into the network. At this point, Teledata was single homed into Williams House and only offering 1 and 10 gig ports. And that is where we were before the recent upgrades. So recent upgrades, as I'm sure you're all aware from the multiple ops and outs communications, we've recently undertaken a major network overhaul to an EdgeCore and IP Infusion disaggregated network solution, which now looks like this. This is the same solution we use on our LAN 2 network, and as you can see, it's been a pretty major upgrade for Manchester. For anyone that doesn't know, disaggregated solution is one where the network is made up of a set of hardware from one provider, in this case EdgeCore, with software coming from another, IP Infusion, rather than the traditional approach of the hardware and software being tied to one provider. This allows for cost savings and a more tailored software for our needs, originally working closely with IPI on this. The new network is made up of a mixture of EdgeCore 7712 for core and 100 gig edges, and 5812 switches for 10 and 1 gig members. So just looking at the 100 gig edge capacity here, previously on the BDX8 chassis, each 100 gig line card only provided 400 gig ports, whereas now the 7712s are 32 times 100 gig. During these upgrades, due to the popularity of the Teledata site and demand for 100 gig there, we've also upgraded the site to a fully redundant POP and have since provided Facebook with a 100 gig port there. Another of the major upgrades during this project was with the site-to-site links, which we've not only upgraded the core to 4 times 100 gig, but replaced the passive MUX solution we had previously with a smart optic solution. These devices are small 1U manageable MUXes, which automatically work out and apply amplification levels on the ports depending on the fiber and the optics. So they really provide a very plug and play optical transport solution with minimal configuration. This not only makes them easy to install and maintain for LINX engineers, but they make it extremely quick and easy to increase site-to-site capacity when needed. And also the leaf and spine topology and all the EdgeCore hardware also being small form factor will also make upgrading capacity or port capacity within a site nice and easy when required. So migration steps. Building on our experience from the LAN 2 migrations, we used much of the same process for Manchester, just on a slightly smaller scale. Firstly, building out and configuring the new network in parallel across all 4 sites. Then our first maintenance back in February was to move the existing ISLs via the smart MUXes, so the dark fibers were sharing the new network optical transport and didn't need moving again. We then brought up an NNI connecting the 2 networks, and we were able to test connectivity using our monitoring probes already live on the new network and prove and monitor stability. Then site by site, we moved the members over, overall successfully moving 116 members and over 150 ports across only 4 maintenance windows, which was a great effort for all involved. benefits of the new network. I've touched on some of these briefly as I've gone through. However, the network now being in line with LAN 2 brings benefits in terms of training overheads for the NOC and engineers, and in terms of network spares, which we would have had before running 3 large networks across Juniper, EdgeCore IPI, and Extreme. We're also running EVPN over VXLAN on the new network, which should bring stability and benefits in terms of less background traffic on the LAN from things such as flooding. And as we're now running this solution, and possibly one of the main benefits of the upgrades is that LINX Manchester is now fully automated, thus eliminating some of the risk of user configuration errors and standardizing configuration across the network. This automation includes all changes and all new provision on the LAN. And in the future, as we look to provide no-touch provisioning and things such as MAC changes via the portal, Manchester is already set up and ready for this from a network point of view. And finally, the disaggregated solution is more cost effective for us, and it allows us to scale the LAN a lot quicker and faster than we would have been able to previously. And finally, quick Manchester by numbers slide. It's quite self-explanatory, but a key point being 18 ports connected at 100 gig, which is also increasing, and peak traffic of 174 gigabits per second, which is a little bit of a spike, but traffic is currently regularly peaking around 150 gig, and just today actually hit 2021 peak of 167 on the network. And comparing that to the oldest graph that I could find when making these slides from 2016, where we were around 20 gig. So that shows the growth of the LAN over the past few years. That's everything from me, unless there's any questions about LINX Manchester.
Yeah, that's great, Joe. Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for Joe? Yes, you can, if just as a little reminder there, the reactions function at the bottom of the screen there, you can raise your hand up there and we can, oh, we have Tom Hill. Do you want to unmute yourself, Tom, and ask the question for Joe?
Thank you. Especially appreciate your first talk that you've given to us, Joe. It's really, really great. The diagram of the new network as it will be built, there's still I think an old Extreme switch hanging off in William's house. It was Edge 3 TCW, something like that. Apologize if you touched on that, but oh, sorry, Core 1 TCW. That's it. How come that's still there? Is there some explanation? Is that temporary or?
So that was just the NNI that we used. So as we moved the members site by site, obviously they needed to talk between the two networks. So that was just for the moves. That's actually been removed. So I probably should have removed that from the diagram, but it was just left on there.
No, that's fascinating. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Any other questions? Okay, yeah, just one thing from me. I mean, it seems hard to believe that next year will be the 10th anniversary of LINX Manchester, or IX Manchester as it was back then. So it's come an awful long way in the last decade. So thanks to everyone that's been involved with that.